Chapter 9. Threads of Connection. The soft chirps and hums of the medbay's monitors were the only sounds filling the silence between them. Amanda sat against the back of her bed, staring at the bruises that had begun to spread across her arms and legs, dark purple-black stains, as if something within her was pressing up against her skin, trying to force its way out of her. Kurt was in the doorway, leaning against the frame, watching her. The worry on his face was unmistakable, but it wasn't just the concern for her physical state that weighed him down. She could feel it hanging in the air between them, thick and heavy, like a storm on the horizon. "Kurt, you should leave," she said, her voice barely audible. "I don't want you to see me like this. I don't want you to—" "No," he cut her off, stepping into the room. His tone was firm, though not unkind. "I'm not leaving." Amanda swallowed hard as she struggled to keep the fear from overwhelming her. She had always been strong, the one to keep it together when things went south. With her body betraying her more and more each day, she wasn't sure how much longer she could hold on. "You don't understand, Kurt," she said, her voice cracking. "It's spreading. Whatever this is, it's inside me. I can feel it, and I don't know how to stop it." He knelt beside her, his eyes locked on hers, and for a moment, she felt an odd sense of peace, like he had become an anchor, something she could hold on to as the chaos inside her spiraled out of control. "I do understand," Kurt said quietly, his voice soft but unwavering. "More than you think." She looked up at him, confused. There was something different in his eyes now, something raw and vulnerable. It was a look she hadn't seen before. "We've known each other for years now, and you've always been a straight shooter," Kurt said as he shifted his stance awkwardly. I need to be the same for you. I didn't come on this mission for the fun of it," he continued, his gaze dropping for a moment before returning to hers. "I didn't join the crew because I wanted to be a hero or because I wanted to explore the galaxy." He paused, taking a breath as if gathering the courage to say what he'd been holding back for so long. "I came because of you." Amanda looked into Kurt's eyes. "What?" He smiled, a sad, weary kind of smile. "I've always admired you, Amanda. From the moment we met, you were strong, fearless, so sure of yourself. You pushed me, but I could never find the right way to tell you. I thought, she's just so dedicated to her work. I don't want to screw anything up, so I held back, kept my distance, even when we were working side by side, because I was too scared to admit how I felt. I love you, Amanda." Amanda blinked, stunned by his words. She had never seen Kurt as anything other than a reliable colleague, a steady presence, a close friend. But now, with the truth laid bare, everything shifted. She could see it now. The stolen glances, the subtle concern, all the awful jokes that fell flat in an attempt to make her smile. "You joined this mission because of me?" she asked, her voice tired. "Yeah." He looked down at his hands, as if ashamed of the confession. "I thought maybe if we were out here, away from everything else, on this mission, I could finally tell you how I felt. But then everything went to hell, and He trailed off, shaking his head. "I should have told you sooner. I should have said something before it got this far." Amanda stared at him, her mind reeling. She could still feel the creature, its presence lurking, but now it was overshadowed by something else, by the weight of Kurt's words, by the realization that she hadn't been alone. Amanda stared at him, her mind reeling. She could still feel the creature, its presence lurking, but now it was overshadowed by something else, by the weight of Kurt's words, by the realization that she hadn't been as alone as she thought. "Kurt," she whispered, reaching out to touch his arm. I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," he replied quickly, his voice a little too eager. I just wanted you to know. Whatever happens, I needed you to know." For a long moment, they sat in silence, the air between them thick with emotions. Amanda's heart was pounding, not from fear this time, but from the sudden realization that Kurt had been there for her all along, not just as a teammate, but as someone who cared deeper than anyone she'd known, and that terrified her. "Kurt," she began, her voice trembling. Thank you," she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't want to get close to anyone. I figured that if I became one of those girls who just fell in love, that I would have to give up on my dreams, my career, me." Kurt listened quietly, his expression softening. He didn't push her, didn't try to fill the silence with empty words. He just waited, letting her find the strength to continue. "Now," Amanda continued, her voice breaking and tears welling up in her eyes, "after everything we've been through, after the Earth was destroyed, after we escaped that creature, I realized something. I realized that you are so special, Kurt. I'm glad it's you who I am stranded with." Amanda's body eased a bit. For the first time in what felt like forever, Amanda felt a flicker of hope, a tiny spark in the darkness that had consumed her for so long. But even as that hope bloomed in her chest, the creature stirred in the back of her mind, reminding her that it was still there. The bruises on Amanda's skin were darker now, spreading further along her arms and neck. She winced as the pain flared up again, but she refused to let it pull her under, not when there was still so much left to fight for. "I'm scared," she admitted, her voice trembling. Kurt reached out, gently taking her hand in his. "We'll stop it," he said firmly. "I don't care what it takes. We'll find a way." Amanda nodded, though the fear still ate at her. She squeezed his hand, finding strength in the simple contact, in the warmth of his skin against hers. Whatever was happening to her, whatever the creature had done, she wasn't alone. And for now, that was enough.